Hey everybody, it's Eddie Joe on CryptoForGrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good, what's good, what's good? Whew. Yeah, I'm running a little bit late today. It happens. It absolutely happens. I know, it's crazy. It's insane. Never happens to me. No, it happens all the time. I promise you. It happens all the time. Oh my gosh. It's like the worst when you have an application that you built and it doesn't do exactly what you wanted it to do. It decides, no, I feel like doing what I want to do. It's always fun. So, you know what? I didn't do today's question. Rick Ritchie in the house, and he invested in himself today. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. Oh, yeah. This one's a good one. Oh, man. I hate when that happens. Who is launching a new stable coin? All right. Is it... Yo, yeah, this one's good. Who is thinking about launching a new stablecoin? Is it BlackRock, Fidelity, Meta, or Strategy? I wish there were five. Then I could do all the above. I know, it's a pain in the tail. I apologize. I almost apologize. So what's good? Yes, we have a lot of stuff going on. We have a lot of people with questions and suggestions and all that good stuff. We've got Kindly MD and Nakamoto Holdings. They raised $710 million to launch the largest Bitcoin treasury to date. And it helped to send stocks up. The stock's up 300%. Isn't that cute? I know. It sounds funny, but don't you think that's cute? Because everybody wants to do that now. Everybody wants a Bitcoin treasury. And I'm like, wouldn't it be better if you people kind of figured out, like, I don't know, what business that you're in or what business you want to be in? Because I feel like some of these companies, they haven't figured that out yet. That's what I honestly feel. Like, you have a core business, right? And you change your current revenue model to turn into an investment strategy company. Like, what is Metaplanet? Nobody knows what Metaplanet is off the top of their head because Metaplanet is just running out there buying Bitcoin. We're a Bitcoin treasury company now. Like, you could say the same thing about Strategy. However, Strategy is a software company, and they're actually getting into the business. They're actually getting into the blockchain business. So I can actually see how that works. I can honestly see how that works for them in their head, right? And I'm kind of like, okay, you're going to start building blockchain solutions because they already build solutions for the financial industry. So it kind of makes sense for them, right? But even then, I feel like I feel like they used to be a software company and now they're an investment firm. That's how I feel about them. That's how I feel about Strategy right now. And I think there are a lot of companies out there right now that really are moving in that direction. Oh, they're all investment firms now. They're all investment firms now. So my question then becomes, well, if you're doing all this investment firmy stuff, I know firmy is a very technical term. I know some of you don't know that. So what are you doing? Right? If you're an investment firm, don't you have to be licensed? Like, what's your business model now? What are you doing? It sounds insane, but I'm really starting to ask questions about if you're going off on a tangent and you're getting to that line of business, what am I investing in? then what is it that I'm investing in? And that's my question. Rick Ritchie, was that you that voted? Or one of the people that voted? So again, tonight's question, who is thinking about launching a new stablecoin? BlackRock, Fidelity, Meta, Strategy. I choose other because it's a trick question. I don't know if it's a trick question, sir. I don't know if it's a trick question. I should have said who's the latest if I didn't want to be mean, but I want to be mean. I want people to think. I don't want to just give them answers and stuff. People want that. People expect to just be handed answers. Which is kind of funny when you think about it, right? So we've got that going on. What else do we have? So that's Kindly MD and Nakamoto Holdings. We've got Hut 8. Let me rephrase. American Bitcoin is merging with Griffin Digital. No, it's Hut 8. Hut 8 is merging with... Wait. Trump-backed American Bitcoin merger with Griffin Digital Mining sends stock soaring 200%. That's what they're doing. Yeah. And remember, this is a part of that deal because American Bitcoin is an 80%, 80-20 deal between Hut 8 and some Trump company. So yeah. Yeah, I gave 2. Actually, did I give 2? Nah, I don't think so. It could be. We'll answer the question later on. Then you've got Perplexity AI raises $500 million at a $14 billion valuation, challenging Google and eyeing Apple Safari integration. That's actually a very big deal. The reason why, Rick Ritchie got on me yesterday. He wanted me to, give you ideas about, what I'm looking at in terms of investments and stuff like that. The AI space is going to disrupt everything. Even Pope Leo knows that. And I'm not being funny. I'm being dead serious. So when you look at AI and how it's being disruptive, I don't think there's anything out there that AI can't make a difference in or disrupt. And raising $500 million, raising $500 million at a $14 billion, valuation for Perplexity, that's a big deal. And if Perplexity gets integrated into, Apple Safari, that could be huge. And could it add, in terms of the search wars, could that be an issue for Google? Yeah. If you own Google stock, could that be a differentiator for you? Yeah. That's why I'm bringing you the news. Not everything in investing is about, crypto. And that's something I want you to pay attention to, because sometimes you can make more money if you're looking at stocks than you are in crypto. For that quick pop sometimes, right? So that's why I bring you different things. And I also want to pay attention to anything that has anything to do with AI, because that's a huge sector in the crypto space. What else do we have? We have, let's see. I can't believe I did that. There you go. Let me do a quick fix. All right. So institutional investors are flocking to Bitcoin ETFs despite advisor restrictions driven by inflation hedge demand. Yeah. Given the news that we got over the weekend, they're going to kick the can down the road for 90 days. I'm thinking about that. Why? Because there's no solid deal right now. And then there's a hit on pharma, right? Because of an executive order that says that, the United States is no longer going to subsidize the rest of the world. You can't be charging us 10 times what you're charging other countries, and that's a very big deal. Michael McCaskill, like, I'm sorry, I'm unable to answer your question because you, my friend, have not let me know if you invested in yourself today. You see what Rick Ritchie did? See that? See that right there? It's the first question of the day. So I try not to engage people if they have not answered the question. But you haven't been around for a long time, so you get a pass. All right? You get a pass. Especially since actually, you shouldn't get a pass because you missed yesterday's meeting. I should put you in a corner for that. I've been asking myself that question about stablecoins for a really long time. You have several banks that are looking to do stablecoins. You have several companies that are looking to do stablecoins. You just have a whole bunch of stuff out there with companies in different places looking to do stablecoins. Everybody and their mama wants to do a stablecoin. And then countries want to back their own stablecoin, but we both know that that's actually all about a CBDC. It's just they're using that stablecoin as a CBDC. Oh, it's, we're getting the nod from the government. Oh, you're getting rules and regulations from the government is what you're getting, Okay, all right. So 2 hours with the publisher. Oof. They must be putting big money behind your book because, oof. Just saying, man. Just saying. Advertising dollars, all that good stuff. Read your contract. What else do we have? Dubai accepts. Now, I want you to think about this because this is huge. Dubai is accepting cryptocurrency for government fees in a groundbreaking move toward a cashless future. Cashless. Dubai. We'll just walk up and boop, boop. Pay for parking, pay for tickets, whatever. Just boop, boop. Bitcoin. Rick Ritchie, I try not to say anything. I try really hard not to say anything. Yeah. In actuality, I don't even, on this side, I don't see the likes until I've ended the show and I go back to the other side. And then I look. People don't like me, man. People don't like me. I'm gonna end the show. I'm gonna stop doing the show because people don't like me. My man Hutanik, he invested in himself today. That's a big deal. Everybody knows that's a big deal. Got to invest in yourself every day, every single day. But isn't that nuts? Dubai is trying to go cashless, and they're not just trying to go cashless by just going digital. You'll use your digital credit card. No, they're going blockchain. That's huge. That is huge. And I wonder how many other countries are going to follow suit. I wonder how many other countries are going to wind up following suit. Now, my question is, how are they solving that fiat problem? Because what happens if the whole country says, oh, we like this, this cashless thing you got going on. And everybody switches over to, that's got to be something that's on their mind, is everybody switching over to crypto. That's got to be on their mind. And maybe they're like, well, we're not the world's reserve currency. We can afford to go to crypto. Let that wash over you for a minute. Look at countries who do not have a reserve, whose fiat is not the reserve currency, right? Think the smaller, less rich nations that are out there. You get enough of those and you're going to have other countries start doing the same. Scott Mulder, how are you? Have you invested in yourself today? And you start to realize that it's going to cause a problem. And I don't think these countries are looking at it from that perspective. I think everybody's still looking at it very much from their own fiat perspective. Look at the EU. The EU doesn't want to work with MasterCard, Visa, Alipay, and others. Why? They want to start doing things on their own. Why? Because they're trying to protect the euro. So how's that work? You're trying to retract away from crypto when more and more people are, more and more countries are moving toward crypto, more and more businesses are moving toward crypto. How's that work? Right? You've got to ask yourself, how is that going to affect, my my fiat? How's that going to affect my economy? Ham's house, you invested in yourself. Scott Mulder, you haven't answered me yet. Have you invested in yourself? So that's kind of not small. That's kind of not small. Rick Ritchie, you go in the corner, young man. You just cracked me up. You go in the corner for sure. His statement is, it is worth $120 a year just to watch you and Mr. Big wilding out. Listen, if you can't get on the phone with a bunch of friends and a bunch of like-minded friends and have a conversation, a specific conversation, not going off on tangents talking about other stuff, but specifically about a specific topic. And in this case, it's investment. And then to be able to feel so comfortable in that space that you ask hard questions. That's pretty cool. And that's what we do during that monthly call. A monthly video call. Even though, who was it? Me, you, Mr. Big, Hutanic. Anybody else? We were the only ones with our cameras on. So we get it. We understand. It was Mother's Day. We probably had a couple of people. They were still in their bonnets. It's okay. Not going to name any names or anything like that. Just saying. Why'd you delete that, Michael? Makes sense, but there are issues with that as well. But that's what I mean. Right? When you think about the world going to fiat, going from fiat to crypto, that's a massive global problem. That's going to call for major issues. Just saying. I'm just putting it out there for you. Got blood work done. All right, health is wealth. I can take that as you invested in yourself today. And you're listening to this show right now. So yeah, all right. I can take that. I can count that toward your whole minimum 15 minutes right there. What else do we have going on? We have inside Trump's $19 million meme coin club, VIP access to private dinners and NFT rewards. The minimum, the reason why I brought this up is the minimum price to be involved in that dinner and to get the NFT rewards was $4.8 million invested in specifically the official Trump coin. And people are sitting back wondering, how does that affect my bag? Here's how. Commissioner Crenshaw, SEC Commissioner Crenshaw is like, there seems to be favoritism. And it seems like we're picking the winners and losers. You can't tell me that's not big. Everybody on the street is talking about, well, which crypto is based in the United States, they have a better chance under this new regime. Those are facts. They're not guessing about that. They're talking facts. So I see where she's coming from. I have no idea what that means. It has nothing to do with investing. No idea. None. I know what it means. I'm being a pain in the butt. So you sit there and you're kind of like, are we? Is the United States picking winners and losers for this country? And I have to say, yeah. I honestly have to say, yeah. Because it seems like every single major U.S. crypto is doing well with this current regime, unlike the ones outside the United States. And it's causing controversy. And that does affect your bag depending on which ones you own. It really does affect your bag. This is why you pay attention to news, because if this one goes up, maybe there's another one that goes down. There's actually a website. I shared it out there. I think I actually put it in one of the books. Actually, I know I put it in one of the books. We have 2 books out, where it actually compares. You can actually do side by side comparison between two cryptos. 1 day, 1 hour, 7 day, all the way out to a couple of years. And you can actually see that. So if one goes up, one could go down. And hello, Paula, and thank you for letting me know that you invested in yourself. Greatly appreciate that. What else is there? We've got this probably dropped a couple of jaws out there. Coinbase. You know, Coinbase is now on the S&P 500. The first crypto company to be listed on the S&P 500. When people talk about going mainstream, this is what they're talking about. Delete that. Delete that. Do me a favor. Yeah. But because you're not wrong. But you've got to start thinking about, well, some people might say, oh, this is that's a political statement or whatever. It's not. When you think about how the economy gets affected by what the president does and says, who the president talks to, who the president does not talk to, who his regime talks to, who they do not talk to, that directly affects bags. I'm acutely aware and mindful of what this regime does from an economic perspective. And I think everybody should be. There's one thing that I do like, but I have to see what the actual executive order does. And then more importantly, it's only an executive order. Does it have teeth? 1. 2, is there something happening in Congress to back it up and put it actually on the books? Because that would mean that any president that comes along after Trump can actually roll that back, right? And the idea is about pharmaceuticals, meaning that supposedly the United States is only going to pay as much as the lowest paying country out there, lowest paying, top tier country, right? So if UK pays lower than we do, well, we're only going to pay what they pay. If this country pays lower than they do, we're only going to pay that. Supposedly, allegedly. That executive order needs to be reviewed. And we have to see how it's implemented. And then truthfully, we need to see if Congress is actually going to pick that up and try to make that permanent. Because any president following could erase that. That's a real thing. That is a real thing. Just look at everything that he's repealed. And then think about any executive order that he's done, how easily those can be repealed by the next president. D-Mac into his house. Why do people do that? Don't delete stuff. Don't be afraid. It's a safe space. I might laugh at you, but it's a safe space. Ooh, Rick Ritchie. Oh, yeah, buddy. The dinner over Trump coin probably put a nail in the coffin for stable coin bills in the near future. It caused the problem. And it's a bipartisan problem. That's what makes it non-political. It's like, wait a minute. And here's something for everybody to actually understand. The part that bothers me the most about that is, how do you know who invested? How do you know who to invite to dinner? So that means through back channels, somebody said, oh, I just dropped $5 million to be in on that dinner. Sorry, the average was 4.8. The minimum was $4.8 million. So I just dropped $4.8 million on that dinner. And you can tell because here's the address that was used, and that's my address. Because other than that, nobody would know. If you use a wallet that you've never used before, other than that, nobody would know. You see how that's a problem? Where's that list of people that just bought access to the president? That's what's scary. So yeah, when you look at stablecoin bills coming out, yeah, that could be a problem. Oh, Hutanic, you can definitely go sit in a freaking corner right now. I love Prince. You can go sit in the corner right now. Both of you. You and Patient One. Just stay right there. Stay right there. So yeah, I think about that. I do think about that because it's going to affect things. So there's your cause and effect. Right? Because it has disrupted the Genius Act. The actions of the current regime affected the Genius Act directly. People are on record saying that. So yeah, no, we don't talk about politics, but we do talk about political things that affect our bags. That directly affects our bags. Yeah, Ripple kicked up a lot. A lot of companies kicked up a lot. All right, that's enough about Prince. But nobody's investing in Prince. What else do we have? We've got Coinbase making history on that S&P 500. That still drops my jaw. SEC commissioner, I told you about that. She is displeased about this. About that. The whole idea that I'll even say it like this, whether the agency is disproportionately favoring crypto and blockchain technology that's based here in the United States, that the agency is picking and choosing who gets to walk forward and who doesn't. It's not funny. That's a big deal. Now, I already have a bone to pick with the new regimes. Pete Atkins, I think his name is. I forget. I don't care. The new SEC chair, that'll get me out of it. How does that work in your head, dude? That you're still kicking the can down the road for ETFs? Like, huh? How are you, even if you just stopped and you said, well, the XRP ETF. Okay, XRP has been found in court of law that it's fine, whatever. It's not a security. Great. So why are you holding up the ETF? Why are we waiting? I can't believe that they have not dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's, made bold what was supposed to be bold, underlined what they were supposed to underline, circled the answer. I cannot believe that they didn't do that yet. Cannot believe that. So, that's a little bit of a problem in my tiny little pea brain. Right? I mean, you have 72 applications. So you mean to tell me that the whole time that they were waiting for you to actually get the job, sit down and do stuff, nothing could happen? Nothing could happen. You mean to tell me you didn't go into those offices, and you're not the official boss yet, but you didn't go into those offices and start seeing what's going on? So we've got 72 applications on hold. 72. I'm sorry. No, wrong. That number is wrong. It's more than 72 so I got the 72 number and there have been several thereafter. So they're bare minimum mid 70s and we're waiting. Why? I don't get it. Dumb question. Do we have like-kind ETFs with BTC address? I think you need to Expand that a little bit. I'm not quite sure what you mean. And it wouldn't be a dumb question. I can just see from this it wouldn't be a dumb question. Do we have like kind ETFs with BT? I don't know what that means. Sorry, bud. I don't know what that one means. You're going to have to give me a little bit more to go on in that one. I think maybe Prince is getting to your head right now. I think that's what's going on. So, yeah, I can understand where Crenshaw is coming from. You're playing favorites, and in my opinion, you're holding things up. Why? Everything should have been moving like this, right? I mean, what could be wrong with those applications? There are already other applications out there that they can just go, oh, this is what they did. Just swap out the names. Swap out the names and keep it moving. You've already approved Coinbase as the custodian or Anchorage Digital as the custodian. So we have no problems. What's the holdup? What's the holdup? Especially for the ones that are trying to do the Ethereum and BTC, link up in their ETF. So you can have different things in that bag. Like what? Meaning if you want BTC like taking possession of gold without a tax event, dude, come on, man. If you have to cash an ETF to dollars, then back to BTC, that's two tax event. I don't know. You have to go see how that is. I thought there was one, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Now I understand what your question is. I'm not 100% sure if you cash out of your ETF, if you get to walk away with your Bitcoin. I do not know. And what would be the advantage of that? I mean, there's a tax advantage, right? You get hit once. But why would you go through all that? I mean, maybe the scenario would be I'm new to crypto, and before I go buy stuff on my own, I'm going to go through an ETF, right? And then I buy Eddie's 2 books, and I'm really comfortable with crypto, and now I'm going to take back my Bitcoin. I don't know. I thought there was, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not going to be able to answer that question clearly. I will say this though. One would think that if a bank gets into the crypto business, you see where I'm going? So because then you'd be able to, right? Because they can custody your crypto. So now they have to give you your crypto. One tax event. And frankly, I want to know, like, how does that actually work? If I deposit my money in the bank and I'm holding my money there, like, how does that work? How does that happen? Can I get paid in crypto? Can you just send me crypto to my new address? Is that a taxable event? Like, from an investment perspective, not that you got paid in crypto and it's all. No. Is that a taxable event? So yeah, I want to know. I would be willing to bet that the XRP ETFs would be approved by October. Bruh, are you serious with that? Are you serious with that? I would think that it shouldn't take until October. October is feasible, but why are they kicking the can down the road? Why do we file in January to get something all the way in freaking October for things that are known entities? Why is it taking so long? You created your own backlog, right? You've created your own backlog. But you've done this for other ETFs within the same space with just about the same damn players. How is that working out in your tiny little pea brain? Not you, I'm talking about the SEC. How's that work out in your tiny little pea brain? That's what I have an issue with. Why are you taking so long? Are you taking so long because you're trying to control the narrative within a certain time frame? Is that what you're doing? Because the next window of opportunity, I believe, for some of them is June. Yeah, DMAC. Yeah. Out of 72, and like I said, you had some that filed way earlier this year. Why are we waiting? Why? What's the process? All right, so there's a built-in, public piece to it. Okay, great. You have to put it out there so the public can actually review it and all that good stuff. So what is that? 30 days? 60 days? Okay. If you filed in January, then March, kick the can down the road. April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Seriously? BlackRock's got things in there. Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, Galaxy Digital. You have a lot of companies that have already done this before, and you've kicked the can down the road. I think you're manipulating the market because you can't prove to me that you're not. Can't prove to me that they're not, right? Because, like I said, some of these firms have already got a Bitcoin or Ethereum spot ETF. Same players, same forms, different cryptos. You're kicking the can down the road. Public opinion, even if you said it was 60 days, it's not, but you say it's 60 days. Great. Awesome. You file in January, you got the 60-day minimum. That means I should be looking at something. I should have already received it in April. But in April, what did we get? A whole bunch of kick the can, kick the can, kick the can, kick the can. So to me, it sounds like, oh, we got to have good news for the back half of the year. And signing off on ETFs on the back half of the year. It sounds about right. That actually adds up. The math is mathing right there. So I don't know. How do we do that? I mean, if you're looking for public opinion, that's awesome. That's a part of the process. But while you're in public opinion, we should be doing the rest of the work, right? I mean, what happened to, what was it again? What was it again? Oh, wait. Department of Government Efficiency. No, I was only playing. I knew what it was. So isn't that inefficient? I know, right? Doesn't that suck? Yeah, so I kind of wonder, like, how's that work? How's that work in your tiny little pea brain? Before June, it should have been April. It should have been April. Oh, we're backed up. We're busy. Blah, 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 blah. Wah. Okay? Should have been done already. But, okay. You take your first exit and you kick the can down the road. How are you kicking XRP down the road? Of course XRP shows insider move. Are you serious? Come on, man. Yeah. Of course it does. Just saying, I do have an issue with that. What else do we have? We spoke about perplexity. Favoritism. Yep. You want the answer to tonight's question? You want the answer to tonight's question, don't you? Because you want to talk about tonight's question. Who is thinking about launching a new stablecoin? BlackRock, Fidelity. Forget poor little Fidelity. They never get any credit. Meta or Strategy. The latest one is Meta. Now, Meta had been thinking about doing this before, and they got told no. Actually, they were thinking about having their own regular coin, and they got told no. Of course, BlackRock is complaining about quantum computers. It's a problem. But real quantum technology will not be here until about 2030. It won't be here until about 2030. They're different kinds of machines. They work differently. They do different things. It's not quite the same as what people think. But would they be able to solve problems like wallet addresses and keys and stuff like that? Possibly. Possibly. Crypto awareness on Facebook with their Facebook and WhatsApp and, across their empire, right? Why? I'm not sure I'm going to pay attention to that. I think it's a pain. I think it's a pain in the tail. I really do. I think it's. What would they get out of it? So okay, you do a stable coin? Why? Why not just use an existing coin? Why? Oh, that's right. Because if I introduce a stable coin, think Tether, right? If I introduce my own stable coin, it becomes a profit center for me because I'm going to be able to charge fees. I'll make money off of every single transaction that happens. And then I turn my marketplace into, well, we only use this stable coin. We're not accepting USDT or USDC or blah, 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 blah. You got to use, Metacoin for S and Gs. You would have to be living under a rock not to know about crypto now. I have to tell you, I know a lot of smart people that know about crypto, know that it exists. Know that it exists. Stop there. That's all they know. They know that it exists. And I'm like, that's interesting. People knowing about crypto and people knowing that it exists versus people that are actually using it, totally different. Investing in it, being able to walk into a store and buy an ice cream cone, go to my son's store and go boop boop, buy some cookies. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be slick? So yeah, the reason why these companies want to start their own stable coins is because they're little gold mines. I mean, over the past few years, I think Tether's averaged a little less than $1 billion a month on fees. Yeah. So imagine if Facebook was to do it with their millions and millions and millions of users. Yeah, it would bring, a knowledge base to crypto and introduce crypto to, to a bunch of people that would be able to do stuff with it. They've got the Facebook marketplace, which has got a bad reputation, but they have places where they'd be able to use it. Oh, pay with crypto. Buy an ad, pay with crypto, save 10%. They can afford to do that. Use our coin. They'd be able to do that. Oh, snap. Charles M. just became a junior bagger. Welcome, Charles M. What's good, what's good, what's good. Love it. Love to see it. Love to see it. Let me see something. How long? No, I'm not trying to do that. I just want to see, like... Oh, it won't let me do it right now. But thank you for joining, Charles. I was trying to see if you've ever made a comment before. Get your history, but it won't do that on this. It has to be a comment or something like that. Because I could click on DMAC and it'll tell me how many bazillion times, or Rick Ritchie or all the other people out there tell me a bazillion times what they've done. I think Paula put herself in the corner, by the way. And she says hello every night, but she never says anything. She never asks questions or anything. So I'm just calling her out because we see you. We see you. I just want to see if they have any other news that was really pressing me. But as far as stable coins go, Mayor Adams on that topic, I like that. I do like that. However, it's going to take a lot of education to get people to do that. I mean, I think the education would come from, I mean, I should reach out. I think I know a couple of people that know him. I know a few people that know him, actually. I think the way to go about it to get people to accept crypto in their stores is to partner with a company like ours that can make it seamless, right? Make it seamless, make it easy for them to do it, and demonstrate to them that, guess what? When you get your money in that couple of minutes, that's it. You get your money. Done. You're not waiting 30 days. You're not acting like it's your money, but it's not, because that person can do returns. Now when this person buys something with crypto, they're going to know, yeah, you can return it, but the onus is on me to actually accept it. Right? Because now you can't play those credit card games, which, in a lot of areas, that's what they do. It offers more security for the store owner. It really, really does. It's a big deal. Meta would be able to make bank with WhatsApp and Facebook. Seriously. For having a stablecoin? What? Oh, my Lord. That'd be insane. It would be insane. But now, can I use your stablecoin anyplace else? Can I use your stablecoin anyplace else? And Hutanik, you're only talking about security measures. I don't even care about that. I'm not even that low into it yet. You know what I mean? Like, you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I'm not even that deep into it yet. Esco, chargebacks are no joke. But the difference in this case would be I'm not getting banged for a chargeback. Right? It's not a chargeback anymore. It's just a return. And I get to look over the merchandise. Well, you want us to take it back, right? Okay. All right. I guess we could do that, but we're going to take off, 5%. There's a 5%, not restocking fee, but recovery fee, because we have to pay a fee to send you back that money. That should come out of your end because you picked up the wrong size. Or your kid doesn't like the toy anymore. Or you bought the wrong Phillips head. Or whatever other reason that there is. Right? Like, these are things that I'm contemplating. But the biggest onus is, not onus, but the biggest deal is that the second that transaction settles, you're done. And you're talking, for some of these cryptos, you're talking seconds. There are a lot of cryptos out there that really are brick and mortar ready. Really are brick and mortar ready. So why not? Drop me a note if you want me to help you, do that. My company does that. It's one of our business lines. We could help you set up crypto. Easy. Easy peasy. Why did Meta use Ethereum and not SUI? Because it's their choice. Psh, what kind of question is that? And they're not using anything right now. You got to wait and see. Yeah, you could offer a discount if you're paying with crypto. It'll eat into your profit margins, but really, how long are you going to do that? How long are you going to have to do that? Not long. Not long at all. Not long at all. However, Facebook would know who you are and what wallet you're using. It'd be associated with you. So there are security concerns there. If you want to have an anonymous address, well, it's not going to happen on a platform. But if you're Facebook, Tether has shown you why you should have your own stablecoin. Circle has shown you, well, actually not Circle. Coinbase has shown you why you should have your own stablecoin. Coinbase's stablecoin is USDC because they make the most money off of Circle. Yeah. I'm still waiting to see the number that Ripple comes back with, I can't believe that they're just going to walk away. They were quick to offer that $5 billion. I can't believe that they're just going to walk away. They can absolutely afford to buy Circle in cash. Now, you would never do that, but they can absolutely buy Circle in cash. That would be huge. Huger than huge. So maybe it might not even be about how much you're willing to spend. I mean, of course, it's a little bit about how much you're willing to spend, but it's also, well, we'd have to involve Coinbase to make that deal. Aha. That's right. They'd have to involve Coinbase to make that deal. What makes you say so, Eddie? Oh, well, because they would have to. Do I have to say anything else, really? Okay, I'll say something else. So they have to involve Coinbase to make that deal because Coinbase is a major shareholder of Circle. They make the most amount of money off of Circle. They make more money off of Circle than Circle makes off of Circle. So they've got a lot of shareholders that are kind of like, ooh, wait a minute. And I can't believe that they don't have any overlapping shareholders. Like I said, I think they're going to wind up coming back to something. I think they're going to wind up coming back to that. I think they're going to sweeten the deal with stock and XRP. No, I don't think so. I think they're going to have to work out long-term payouts for Coinbase if they buy Circle. Because you're not just dealing with Circle, you're dealing with Circle and Coinbase. So I would think that there's math that has to happen for Coinbase to be satisfied. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Right? So I think about that like a lot. A lot. I'm still tripping off of Dubai going cashless. Because it can't just be crypto. It can't just be, Bitcoin, right? There's got to be a point where they're going to say, yeah, well, a couple of stable coins too. Because it makes sense. It makes sense. But going cashless, imagine if it was only Bitcoin. Imagine if Dubai said, we're only going to do Bitcoin. Why would they do that? Oh, because then they wouldn't be reliant on the dollar. Patel Real Estate Holdings has launched a $100 million tokenization fund on the Chintai blockchain, aiming to give accredited investors, rich people, access to institutional grade real estate opportunities. So what they're really saying is, yeah, we're going to give rich people a way to get involved and not necessarily everybody else. But it's fractionalized real estate. Yeah, fractionalized real estate ownership. So that's not amazing to me. It's just another company that's doing that. Real estate, automobiles, those are going to be really big places. Not just stocks and bonds and options and all that good stuff. Those are going to be really big places for tokenization. That's why that's big news. Because it's another company that's getting involved in that. Something that's more tangible. Now, I would prefer that it was something that would be open to everybody and not just rich folk. Because what they're saying is we don't want to have to manage all the addresses, all the wallets, and all the flippity flops. At some point, somebody's going to take that and they're going to let it split. They're going to let somebody buy X percentage. It's going to happen. So they might as well open it up to everybody. But accredited investors? And so really stop and think about this. I'm going to tokenize stocks. Doesn't that change how the stock exchanges work? At some point it will. At some point it will. I don't care what anybody says. At some point, it will. So yeah, there are a few things that I'm paying attention to. There's another one. Who is it? Pump.fund. They have Pump Swap, and they're going to be sharing 50% of the proceeds with their creators. It's weird. Everybody in the space is deep in the space, and we're still waiting for retail investors to catch up. Is what it is. Is what it is. And I'm not going to say all for the better, most for the better. How's that? Most for the better. That's what I would say. But yeah, there's a lot of news out there that we should be paying attention to that helps us understand what's going on and how that can affect the global economy and eventually affect my bags. Because that's a real estate deal. That's a real estate deal that would be available via blockchain. I'm still waiting for the United States to catch up and be like, oh, we're going to put all the titles on the blockchain. Imagine me owning my house, taking my title, putting it on the blockchain with me as the owner. And when I sell the house, I send that title to whoever is supposed to own the house. How's that for cray cray? That one right there is nuts. I can see that coming in the near future. Give it 5 years tops, I think. I have October is one target, but I want you to stop and think about this. Those are the hard dates in terms of they can kick the can down the road for X amount of time, right? I can kick the can down the road for X amount of time, and that's the period of time. So July, August, September, October. So 4 months, I can kick the can down the road. But that doesn't mean that I have to wait until then to do it. I can say I need a little bit more time. I'm going to kick the can, but I'm probably going to get it done before then. I just don't want to be rushed, and I'll get it done. What's been the kickback? What do you mean you see a dip? What do you mean you see a dip? I don't know that I see a dip. I think I can see a couple of dips. I can see a lot of laterals, and I can see a couple of dips. Just saying. Just saying. Because I honestly feel that they're going to kick the can down the road for as long as they can so that they can manipulate the back half of the year. Because those are clear ways on how to manipulate the back half of the year. And look at all the cryptos that are sitting on the sidelines with those applications. They're all the popular ones. SUI, XRP. I think there's a Doge one in there. I think there's a SHIB one in there. There are a few. There are a lot. So yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. Hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Become a member. Go to growmybag.tv/sign-up and become a member. It's a big deal. You just missed out on the Big Bagger meeting. Oh, Big Baggers. I want to run this by you. I'm actually thinking about collecting a list of coins from you guys and then having a special Big Bagger meeting where we only go through those coins on the spot. We go through tokenomics on those coins on the spot. I'll do some of the tokenomics, and then you guys kick up with, maybe who's involved. And we go through it. The same way we discussed ZBEC over the weekend, we'll do the same thing with other coins. Let me know what you think. Drop a note on the Big Bagger feed to let me know what you think. It'd be greatly appreciated. No, I am not paying attention to almost anything on the YouTube messages if you're a Big Bagger. If you're a Big Bagger, you better be dropping your messages on the Big Bagger feed on the website. Everybody, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Definitely thank you for your patience. And absolutely, thank you for your trust. I'm fighting to earn that every day. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.